right.
And we welcome you into a new edition of Greensboro College Athletics Live. So thankful and happy to have you all here with us at Daryl's Wood-Fired Grill here in Greensboro, as well as joining us on YouTube. I'm Kendrick Fruits. He's Stephen Whitenhouse. We've got a packed show today, a lot of fun guests. We're going to talk about a lot of things Greensboro College athletics related. So, Stephen, let's go ahead and jump into it. It's been a busy couple of weeks since we've had our last show. A couple more for me. You did a good job running the last show all
Appreciate
by yourself. I'm sure you had help. I know
just a little
you had
bit.
help. But no, a lot of stuff going on right now. Let's go ahead and jump in and get everybody caught up on what's going on right now, because it's hard to believe, but we're in the home stretch for spring sports. Some of them are already in the postseason. Some of them have a week left in regular season. It's here.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the part of the year every season that you're looking forward to. Men's and women's lacrosse are about to start their conference tournament. And we'll get to that in just a second. And then baseball, softball, they are battling very hard for seeding. Baseball currently has the number 1 seed in the USA South. Softball in the number 4 seed, potentially could move up to the number 3. But a big week for lacrosse, and we'll have a couple of those coaches on here soon. But lacrosse about to get their conference tournament underway, so it has been a busy spring. But now that we're in conference tournament time, it is definitely the most exciting part of the year.
Absolutely. We'll break down the men's and women's lacrosse situations and scenarios and previews and all that sort of good stuff here a little bit later in the show. Since we focused on baseball and softball the last time, let's go ahead and just give quick updates on them really quickly. Starting with baseball, you mentioned the number 1 seed right now, sitting in a good spot. When you win 2 out of 3 or you sweep every conference series, that helps you a lot in terms of tiebreakers. And they've got a non-conference game against crosstown rival Guilford on Wednesday. You finish the regular season with 3 games against Brevard Friday and then 2 on Saturday. So Greensboro really sitting in a spot where they can control their destiny here and be the number 1 seed.
Well, they do control their destiny. Right now, tied in the loss column with Pfeiffer, got a game lead, technically 2 games because of the tiebreaker on Methodist. So situation is tomorrow Pfeiffer and SVU play. We'll see how that plays out. But regardless of what happens, if Greensboro wins all 3 games this weekend, they're the number 1 seed. They're hosting the first round, and if they get to the championship, they're hosting the championship. And so that is really exciting because, remember, last year they hosted that first round, got through. They were the 2 seed, though, so they had to go to Methodist for the championship series. Let's hope it's a little bit different this time around. They take care of business this weekend, and they could be the 1 seed.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously you can't talk about that team without talking about what Trevor Testerman's been doing right now. And again, just continuing to put together a historic season, leading Greensboro College, or leading all of Division III with 16 home runs this year. And I looked the other day, his batting average of .483, not only is it 3rd best in all of Division III, but it actually sits 8th best in the entire NCAA Divisions 1, 2, and 3. So talk about a guy who's just come in and made a huge impact this year.
Yeah, I mean, transfer last year, played at Averett. What a massive piece of this offense, because you look at last year and you lost a lot of guys, really experienced guys, and you knew that you still had a lot of talent coming back. But to have a guy like Trevor Testerman come in and really replace multiple bats. I mean, you talk about, guys like Brody Gardner, Chris Lee, those guys who,
Rush Bowman.
Yeah, yep. Rush Bowman. And Trevor's essentially replaced all 3 of those guys in one. So he's been incredible. Evan Sykes has had an unbelievable season at shortstop, probably another All-American season for him. And so, it's been amazing. But, the cool part is I talked to Coach Fennessy a couple weeks ago, and one of the things about the baseball team, not just Trevor, not just Evan, those guys, it's been the freshmen that have really stepped up and been a key part of this season. You talk about Austin Federspiel, Isaiah Rawls, Braden Sands, and Destin Matthews. There's a ton more. But, not just Trevor and Evan and those guys, but it's been the freshmen that have stepped up too.
Yeah, absolutely. And for softball, things a little bit more hazy than they are in baseball right now. You want to talk about a team, though, that really went into last week needing to get some stuff done. They did that. They won all 4 conference games they played last week en route to going 6-0 overall. And, it was kind of the point of the year where it was, put your money where your mouth is. If you're a softball, everybody was like, we're waiting for him to come around, Well, the time has come for them to do that, and they did that last week.
Yeah, and I think they're playing their best softball at the right time. Won, I believe, 6 in a row now. And they've been on a hot streak. They won every game last week. Had to come from a high win against Carolina University. Took care of Mary Baldwin pretty easily on the road, and then came home and took care of Salem pretty easily too. And so they've gotten their tougher part of the schedule out of the way. They only have 4 more games. They've got SVU on the road, and then they've got William Peace on the road later this week. Those 4 games are going to be really key in terms of seeding. Because we're kind of watching to see where they go in terms of the first round of the tournament. Is it Pfeiffer or is it Meredith? Pfeiffer and Meredith also happen to play tomorrow. So that's going to be a huge step in terms of figuring out where they go for the conference tournament. The fun thing about softball, similar to baseball, is that I think even more so for softball, I think you have even more parity. And I think those top 5, 6 teams, if they're hot going into the tournament, they could win the tournament. And so seeding in terms of the softball tournament, of course it matters, but I think regardless of where Greensboro softball goes, I think if they continue to stay hot and stay confident, I don't see why they couldn't run the table and potentially win this conference tournament, because it's definitely, it has a lot of parity. And so even with Meredith, Meredith's only loss in conference was to Greensboro, and that was on the road as well for Greensboro. So they know they can beat the best teams in the country. They played, the 15th ranked team, Christopher Newport, extremely close on the road earlier this year. And so if they catch fire and they play well, I don't see why they couldn't make a run.
I'm going to throw in a little curveball, speaking of bat and ball sports, because I'm allowed to do that. And he doesn't know I'm doing this yet, but I'm going to go ahead and bring in our Director of Athletics, Jerry Fisk, for one additional question. He's going to come and talk about Give for GC Day here in just a minute and the results of that. But as we're giving a quick update on things going on, men's golf beginning the USA South Tournament earlier today, and not a bad start for the team, sitting in second place after round 1.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me on. I appreciate being here. They played well today. Cody Stevens played really well. He's leading us, and FIFA's right behind. I think the team's positioned pretty well. Excited that, as this the story with golf, they had a few big holes. They had some doubles and triples that counted today, and if they can get rid of those things, they've really played well, it appears.
Well, obviously in golf, you want the low number. Give for GC Day, you want the high number, and you've got some results to tell us.
Yeah, no, appreciate that. Wanted to come on and just thank all the donors, the parents, the alumni, corporate giving, staff. We believe in what we're doing, and so we're stepping up and helping as well. And giving this year on our giving day, Give for GC Day, up 370% from last year. So really impressive. Some teams, men's and women's basketball, and a couple of other teams, women's soccer did a great job. Volleyball did a great job. Lots of pies in the face for the volleyball team. And just a thank you. We can't do it without you, and to see that the number, more than triple was really good. And I know so many of our teams are going to be able to do something different than they could have as a result of that. So
I did notice that our athletic director was surprisingly absent during the pies in the face going on.
I watched from a distance. When you get to my age, you don't see things well sometimes, so I had to get a little further away to make sure I was safe.
All right. Well, hey, Jerry, thank you so much for that update, and thank you for everything you continue to do for Greensboro College Athletics.
Appreciate it.
We're going to step aside. When we come back, we're going to talk a little men's lacrosse as they get ready for tournament time here. GCA Live continuing next on the Greensboro College Sports Network. Every college athlete has a story to tell, and at Greensboro College, we believe no one is better equipped to tell those stories than the athletes themselves. On the Getting to Know podcast, you'll hear the who, what, when, where, why, and how of each college athlete's journey to Greensboro and how they became a member of the Pride. We talk on and off the field, influences, hobbies, goals, and what it means to be a member of the Pride. It's all on the Getting to Know podcast on Spotify and YouTube.
I just really felt like I was a person, and they really cared about you, not only as like an athlete, but, you know, as an individual as well. And so that was one of the things that like led me here, honestly.
The Getting to Know podcast from Greensboro College Athletics. We are one pride, and these are our stories. And we continue on with Greensboro College Athletics Live, joined now by men's lacrosse coach Nate Bates. Coach, thank you so much for hanging out with us today.
Glad to be here, Kendrick.
This is why we invited him.
Just thrilled out of my mind. I'm the happiest place.
Well, I tell you what, one thing you got to be happy with is the performance of your team this year. A really, really good year for your guys, and it paid off. Number 2 seed in the tournament, and get to host a game on Friday. Or Saturday rather. That's got to be exciting.
Yeah, it's been a couple of years since we've hosted a first round game, and way overdue. But with some growth and things and changes in the program that were necessary, like we're excited to be here, and Methodist is going to be a really good opponent. I mean, we had a good battle with them a week and a half ago or so, and so we're looking forward to it.
There's been a lot of storylines. One of the storylines has been Justin Berry, and we're going to get to a couple of his teammates here in just a second. But I want to talk about Justin. This is his 3rd year with
and
the
he's
program.
been very, very good.
Very, very good. Don't laugh.
We have fun here, guys.
We have a lot of fun, especially with this guy.
Yeah.
He's only gotten better every single year. And, over 60 goals this year. He leads the conference in goals and points. It's kind of an obvious question, but what has he meant to this program, not just this year, but all 3 of his years? Because he's, just grown as a leader, as a player, and every time you talk about him, it just seems like you're so impressed with who he is as a person. So just tell us a little bit about Justin.
I mean, he's a kid that we've grew up in our backyard, and just kind of lucky that it worked out that he ended up here and made the switch over to Greensboro 3 years ago now. But a guy who came in, planted the flag, said, I'm going to do this, and kind of put the program on his shoulders a little bit. Like, he is not the most vocal guy, and that's something we've been working, pushing him a little bit, trying to get a little bit more out of the vocal cords to be a leader. But, I mean, he's a line up and do it and watch me do it kind of thing, and, come alongside me. And, he pushes the guys in that way, which is different than most of the guys that want to be very vocal as a captain and as leader, and guys just want to play up to his level, So it's been that kind of thing, and he works so hard off the field to get ready for what he does, and takes it very seriously, and but it's fun. Like he's got a quiet sense of humor that gets everybody going, and just to watch him grow and watch the numbers just pile. I mean, I was looking at it today as we were getting ready for some other meetings that we had, and to look at the exponential growth from 3 years ago, which I think was 50 points his first year, to then 80 last year, and then all the way up to, what's he at, 119, 120 now? Like, that's huge. And to push into the top, almost the top spot in the record book in 3 years, that's special, and so he's a piece that you don't replace, in a freshman class. Like, you look for another Justin Berry, but they're not ones that fall off the apple tree very often around here. So we're just excited for him, really happy for what he's doing, and where he's helping our team get to.
Well, obviously, I was going to say, don't interrupt me. I'm just kidding. One of the things I was going to follow that up with is a couple of his teammates. Seth Woods came in as a transfer, and then Alex Mattoon has really stepped up. How have those two not only helped Justin, but helped the entire offense? Because, I mean, you guys have just put up some pretty insane numbers this year.
Record-breaking numbers.
Yeah, record-breaking numbers. Yeah. How have those two stepping up just helped your overall offense? Because, again, and it's not just those 3. You've got DiMaggio Wilson, you've got Chaz Gilroy, you've got Alex Specken, even other guys like Will Pelthorpe. I mean, I think the addition of Seth has really opened it up for everybody else. What would you say about that?
I mean, he was the missing wheel on the tricycle, down there in attack. JB has been kind of the anchor, and then Mattoon's been growing up. Like, he's been a great piece from his freshman year where he played kind of hit and miss minutes as a midi attackman kind of thing, and and was starting to cut his teeth at the college level. And then, last year we missed that.
Yeah.
We missed that third attackman. There were so many things in transition and stuff like that. We just needed a kid who could dodge and get his hands free, and that's where Seth has just fit seamless. When we were talking about getting him over here, he was asking, what's the offense feel like? What's it look like? And I was like, Seth, you just work, man. Like, when you get here, it'll just plug in and it'll be fine, because he's a very free-flowing, creative type of player, and that's exactly what JB is. And then Mattoon is really kind of not that. He's more the plug-and-play guy and fills the role as the third wheel, but he's always around the ball and scoring, as we've all seen in all the stats, and on man up and things like that. That's where he's etching his name in our record books. But, Seth creates a lot of offense with his feet, sees the field really, really well, and we needed that. And so it's just been, you look for a complete whole set, and Seth made that wheel complete this year. So.
For sure.
Coach, when we had our preseason preview way back in whatever it was, February, January, one of the big things that you told me when I asked about keys for this season, obviously the job's not done yet, but you said part of it is because you had so many new faces this year was how quickly could everybody mesh together and get on the same page. Tell me a little bit about how that process was for you guys this year. I know one of the words you told me earlier in the year was uneven. Kind of some good games and some bad games. And, we won, but maybe we didn't play well or that sort of thing. So obviously as you're getting into the postseason, you want to be firing on all cylinders. How do you see the growth of your team from where you started to where you are now?
I mean, it's been pretty consistent, and that's what you want out of the older guys. When you play younger kids, they play on that bell curve with really good highs and really bad lows, And I've told the guys, I said, hey, the more we can play right at even, the better it's going to be with turnovers and positive plays and things like that. We've just been lucky enough this year to play more in the uptick than on the down. Friday against Piedmont was a down. That wasn't our best day, but that's where we're looking to bounce back. But it's been,
you're just getting that one out of the way, right?
Yeah, we just had to get banged in the head one more time, get the cobwebs out. But no, that's been the thing with the young guys stepping in and playing. We know we had to balance some of that in certain spots. That's where Seth on the offensive end being able to control the ball, where we're changed some spots on the defensive half. So it's just been pushing and trying to find that consistency and hold them to it. And that's been a frustrating part sometimes, where you just want to say, guys, let's pay attention. What are we doing? But they've done a really good job. So it's not anything, it's more organic than anything else. Just to talk about numbers and be able to talk about statistics and things and where we need to be and what the other team brings and what we bring, and compare stuff and, make it a little bit more cerebral, which you can with the older guys. The younger guys, they're just flies.
But they turn into those veterans eventually.
They get there. But, when they're young, they're running into the wall at full speed, some days. So it's all right. So, but that's been the big thing, is having the older guys, of having, two super seniors and a junior on attack. And then DiMaggio is, older than dirt. But, he's got a level head and he knows what's going on. And some of the other guys that have cut their teeth. So that's given us a lot of, good foundation to create that chemistry and get us where we are.
Yeah, next year I'll be asking you about how do you replace those guys, but we're not going to think about that yet. We still got some more lacrosse to play this year. Stephen, do you have anything before we look to this weekend?
Yeah, well, I was actually just going to transition into this weekend. We'll start with a rematch, right? We just played Methodist senior day. Started off a little bit slow on the offensive end, but you guys kind of picked it up, especially second half. Now that it's a rematch and it's, going to only be 2 weeks, when we get to Saturday, only 2 weeks from last playing them, what are the adjustments that you have to make? Don't give away too many secrets. What are the adjustments that you have to make, and how do you get off to a little bit faster start?
Well, we started slow on purpose just to make it more exciting for the fans.
Well, that's what I thought.
Man of the people right here.
We had to make it entertaining.
If we just come out and score every time, it's not
right.
fun.
And then it's boring.
Yeah, so we've got to, keep the fans in their seats.
Right.
All 4 quarters so Kendrick can sell popcorn or whatever he's doing.
He'll start running out of stuff to talk about.
I don't think he will ever, between you and me.
Get your popcorn here.
No, I thought their goalie, he's a local product, a Northwest Guilford kid. He stood on his head that game. And that's the best game. I told him after the game, I said, man, that's the best game I've ever seen you play. And he really did. He played lights out. So we're hoping he doesn't play lights out on Saturday, but he's a good goalie. They're well coached. We match up really well. You know, at the face-off, XQ is having a phenomenal year.
Yeah.
And really picking up where he left off last year as a freshman. And so, you know, we're going to push in those areas. You know, at the long stick midi spot with Colin moving up there out of the close defense this year has been a big thing. And so it's going to be some tweaks here and there with personnel and packages and things like that, rides, you know, different pieces that I won't talk about because Kendrick doesn't know.
That's right.
Cross, you know.
Kendrick will go tell everybody.
He will.
Me and my big mouth.
But it's going to be a good tilt. Like they're a good matchup, and a bunch of local guys crossing over between the rosters that know each other for years and years. So it'll be a fun one.
Absolutely.
You know, when you think about, you know, like Steven said, how quickly it's been since you, or how soon it's been since you played Methodist, you know, there's a full year of tape on both of you. They've seen what you guys do. You've seen what they do. Is this kind of a year where, or a time of the year where you just say, hey, we know what you're about, come beat us at our best thing? Or do you still have anything left to say, hey, surprise? Don't tell us there's a surprise, just is there one?
there's a few tweaks, you know, but, I mean, I had a football coach in high school where we were going to run the veer, and he didn't care that everybody in the world knew it was coming. We were just going to run it. We were just going to be really, really good at it, you know, and that's kind of been my mentality of, like, if we get our guys on the right page, like, I dare you to stop us, you know, and, you know, have the number 14 team offense in the country, have another number, I think it's the 18 defense in the country. Like, we're doing a good job of what we're doing. There are some things to adjust and rides and clears and man up, man down and some offense and things that we'll tweak a little bit and clean up a little bit and adjust now that we've seen them and they've seen us, you know. So I know they'll make some changes, but the interesting thing is, like, we're really matched up really even, you know, depth on both sides and how many, you know, how deep into the benches we go and things like that. So it'll be maybe some of the same, but some differences as well. So, but the injury bug is going to be interesting here in playoffs, what that looks like with who's healthy and who's got full go for both squads. So it's going to be some of the same, but some of the different, hopefully.
Well, you've dared a lot of teams to come stop you this year, and not many teams have been up for the task. Quarterfinals against Methodist. It'll be Saturday. It'll be 4 o'clock at Pride Field. Hope you can come out and join us for that. Coach, thank you so much for hanging out with us for a little bit here today.
It's been my pleasure.
Thanks, Coach. Hey, it's always a blast. It's always a blast to hang out with you. We're going to step aside when we come back. Rob Hebner will be here with our sponsor spotlight, and we'll tell you all about that when we come back. Greensboro College Athletics Live next on the Greensboro College Sports Network.
Can you hear me? Gotcha. Hey, we're back. Greensboro College Athletics live here at the wonderful Daryl's. What a beautiful restaurant this place is, and appreciate you tuning in. We have with us in our sponsor spotlight, we have 2 new sponsors with Greensboro College, proud sponsors of Greensboro College Athletics. We have Wayne Hardister, president of First Carolina Mortgage, and we have John Hardister, COO of Elevation Strategies. So interesting, last name is the same. There's a reason there. They're related, father, son. So, Wayne, why don't you kick us off? Tell us a little bit about First Carolina Mortgage, how long you guys been in business. You are here in Greensboro. They're off of Dolly Madison Road here. But tell us a little bit about how long you've been in business and kind of touch on with primary residences. Tell us a little bit about some of your target clients. Who may be a good client for you?
Sure. Well, the first thing I want to say is I feel like Greensboro College has got a super future in front of it.
Thank you for that.
I really do. I've got that gut feel, and I listen to Wayne 1 and Wayne 2, and Wayne 1 tells me that. Now, as far as First Carolina Mortgage, this is our 37th year with the oldest mortgage company in Guilford County. I've been in this a long time, which is hard to say because I'm only 61. But anyway, I was in banking for 20 years. In those 20 years, First Union 12, and then started two banks, which is now BB&T. Started First Carolina Mortgage about 37 years ago. We have primarily been involved with residential lending. However, due to my background in retail commercial banking, we've also done commercial loans along the way. The recent market has been challenging for residential mortgages, but the thing about it today is there's so many different programs and so many different ways. So I encourage people to take a hard look if you're thinking about buying or refinancing. But if you're about buying and you're afraid of the interest rate a little bit, the thing to think about is the sellers are more motivated for a better price. So majoring in the majors there is what I look at, and those people then that buy in a little bit higher interest rate market have the opportunity down the road to refinance into a lower rate.
Yeah. I think we're currently around 6.4% for conventional
Correct.
fixed 30. But, like you said, hey, get into it now, make that deal, and you can always refi in a couple of years. And this is the guy that can help you. Yeah. Wayne, really enjoyed our friendship, and I appreciate you supporting Greensboro College Athletics. I know it's a little bit more personal to you because you put your son at school.
I spent a lot of money there.
Spent a lot of money there, so now you spend a little bit more. Thank you very much. Yeah. John, tell me a little bit about what's going on with you now, Elevation Strategies. I know you're former longtime House member. I think it was about 12 years. House Majority Whip there for a while. Did all kind of fancy things there. Supported a lot of great efforts. I would assume Elevation Strategies in your role, you're kind of picking up COO. Tell us kind of who some of your clients are and kind of what you do to support their efforts.
Sure. Well, Robert, first of all, I want to thank you and everybody on the GC athletic staff for the great work you do. Y'all are doing a fantastic job. And to all the faculty and staff out there at GC, thank you for what you do every day. And to the students, best of luck to you. I'm a graduate of GC, and believe it or not, it's been 20 years.
Blink of an eye.
Yeah, it's gone by quickly, and I had the honor of being the commencement speaker last year, which was a fantastic experience. So I studied political science. Wasn't sure if I'd use it. I thought I might go to work with my dad. And then for some reason, I don't know why, but I had this crazy idea that I was going to run for office, which I did, and I got elected in 2012 to the North Carolina House of Representatives and ended up doing that for 12 years. And it was an awesome experience, and I can say that my experience at GC helped to prepare me for that. And I had the honor to serve as a majority whip, as you said, Robert. And then in 2024, I retired from that and started a career in government affairs, which is what I'm doing now at Elevation Strategies. And we have a variety of clients, including, believe it or not, the company that owns this place, Daryl's, this restaurant. Kick-Ass Concepts is one of my clients.
Can we say that on TV?
You might have to censor me on that, but that is the name.
That is the name.
Yeah, I'm just saying it as it is. Marty Kotis is a great friend of mine, and anyone who has a company that's affected by the government, which is really any industry, any company or association.
Right. Hey, again, thanks a lot, you guys, for supporting us. Greensboro College Athletics is moving in the right direction. heading forward. We've got a lot coming on for the fall, re-imaging of Pride Field. Every dollar supports, helps. Please contact me, and I'm happy to answer any questions. These two guys, proud new sponsors. Thanks a lot to Wayne Hardister, First Carolina Mortgage. Check them out. John Hardister, Elevation Strategies. Check them out. We appreciate it. And here in just a minute, we'll come back, return with women's lacrosse coach Mallory, Coach M.
All right, and we welcome you back into Greensboro College Athletics Live, joined now by head coach of women's lacrosse, Mallory Zalowski. Coach, first off, congratulations, third straight year of making the postseason.
Thank you.
I know this is probably, in some ways, the most rewarding and challenging of those 3 years. You guys fought a lot of adversity today, or this year, and it's paid off, and you guys are heading back to the postseason.
Yeah, and thankful we're not going back to Methodist for the third year in a row.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the year that was before we look ahead to the postseason. And I think really you look at the last couple of games specifically, and feels like the team's really starting to click a little bit. You won 2 of your last 3, could have won the game against Warren Wilson. I think when you talk about teams wanting to be rounding into form as the time postseason comes around, you guys are in a good spot.
Yeah, we definitely stepped it up. I think we hit a really great stride against Brevard earlier this season, and then kind of lost that for a little bit. And I can definitely appreciate on Saturday at Senior Day, we tried to get some team members some goals. So probably not quite the score that it could have been, but appreciate the interest in getting teammates goals for Senior Day, that type of stuff. So definitely appreciate the work together on that one.
Go ahead.
Well, yeah, I'll go ahead. We got so many questions. We just Mal, this is this is I guess my third year now, kind of here at GC, and I've just been really impressed with everything that you guys have done in terms of battling adversity and really trying to grow this program. Because for those that aren't familiar, back in COVID, this program was hit really hard, as were a lot of programs.
Yeah.
And you came in and you've had to build this program really from the ground up.
Yeah.
Now that you're in your third straight year of making the postseason, you've had some big wins, last year and then again this year. Give me just a little bit of your thoughts. Like, I don't know if you ever think back, to where you started to where you are now.
Yeah.
But just give us your thoughts on, your 5 years here. In fact, we celebrated that a little bit earlier today.
Yep.
Just give us your thoughts. I mean, from the COVID time and you coming here to now, just your thoughts on how this program has grown, and then what your hope, your vision is for the future.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, numbers-wise, we definitely have grown and then kind of had a little bit of pullback this fall. However, talent-wise, incredible growth on that front. I mean, my first 2 years, I think we played every game down, at least 1 or 2 people on the field for every single game. Had tons of issues with injuries, a couple torn ACLs. And, I mean, the fact that we even got through all of conference was amazing. And then, seeing that growth. And I think some of the frustration this season has been a little bit of not maybe reaching the potential that I think we've had. But I think that kind of comes down to, the talent that we have, right? Like we've got the talent come in. We've added from on campus, and a lot of our on-campus players have really stepped up to the plate and become truly lacrosse players in a very short period of time. And so definitely seeing that growth. And my husband Dan mentioned to me, I think just yesterday, he's like, these seniors, they're the only ones who remember not making playoffs, which is a crazy idea. So that's pretty fantastic. And I will say, especially this year, watching the team come together and work together, and we may not have had all of the on-field successes that we were kind of hoping we would have, but the team as a whole has really come together. The chemistry that they have, the bonds that they've built, watching them together, like on the bus, outside of the locker room, like it's truly something special. They really have come together, and I think that then helps grow that next, the next team. And looking forward, we've got a couple of incoming freshmen next year, looking to hopefully bring in a couple of transfers that'll make a big difference. Obviously the numbers are always the big thing, but I think, this team really truly has no give up. And it's something that opposing coaches have made note of previously, is that, we may be down by 10, we may be down by 12, and they're still 100% on the field. And that's definitely something that's really awesome that this team has, is that drive and that will to play all 60 minutes.
I think one of the players, at least to me, that embodies that the most is Marlo Coos. I remember at the beginning of the year, the second she would be past the ball, she's trying to give it away, and now she's one of the most confident with the ball on the defensive side. She's been it's been incredible to watch her progression through the course of the year. And speaking of the defensive side, you've got your scores, you've got Brindley, you've got Kira, you've got a couple others that have had some big games. But I think the thing that stood out to me this year is that you guys are very good defensively, and I don't think that gets a lot of credit as far as, just you guys are tough. The defensemen don't allow people to really get easy lanes in on the goal. And just talk a little bit about your defense this year and just how that's come together.
Yeah, I mean, it's been pretty incredible to watch the communication that they've had. And especially right off the bat, early this season, it was amazing how they just started clicking together. Communication was fantastic. I know, Ashley had a couple of absolutely standout games. Bethany has stepped up to the plate. Sid has always been kind of that backbone back there, but the way they work together, and it just, I think it's at times you don't necessarily get the recognition on the defensive side, but they've been really strong. And
we joke with Coach Johnston about his defenders. We're like, sometimes the best games are when you don't have any stats.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Yeah, and also having 3 goalkeepers this year has been very different for us, and it's great because they're all very good goalkeepers, but they've also had to learn how to play field. And the last couple of games, Aaliyah as a freshman, she's been thrown on the defense and has done a phenomenal job stepping up on the defensive side of things. And 2 out of our 3 goalies have scored goals this year, which is insane. It's a really cool stat. I got a text after Carly scored her 2 goals against Brevard from her club coach in Oklahoma, and he's like, what is happening there that you have Carly scoring goals? Like, what is going on? And the fact that we had 2 of our goalies scoring points that day in that game was just awesome. So, people are taking note of that, which is pretty fantastic.
Yeah, talk a little bit more about that. I don't know if I've seen a team with 3, quality goalkeepers. At least in our conference and even non-conference. You don't really see. 2 is good, but 3, you don't really see much.
No.
Talk about the growth of Aaliyah Akers, because she really played well at the start of the season and won a rookie of the week earlier in the season for the conference. And then you had Carly after she started the season injured. She's come back, and that Warren Wilson game in particular. She has so many key saves. And then, of course, DK as well coming back this year.
Yep.
How rare or unique is that to have 3 goalkeepers that you can rely on? Because with a team that's short on numbers, usually you're saying, well, we only have 1 keeper, so good luck. But you have 3. So, just kind of talk a little bit more about how unique that is.
And I'm going to throw in a part B to that. How do you juggle playing time for goalkeepers as well?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's definitely been one of the things we've been kind of figuring out. I mean, like my first year, we had one goalkeeper, and unfortunately, she got injured on multiple occasions, and we had to pick up a field player who was willing to step into goal, and that's terrifying. Nobody likes that, and so having 3 quality goalkeepers has been fantastic, and the relationship that the 3 of them has is just awesome. Like, they are excited for one another when they do well. They're building each other up, and that's a tough thing to do, right? Because you're competing, but also you want to support one another, and that's hard. It's a very hard thing to do, and so very rare. I don't know that I've seen many, if any, other teams with 3 goalkeepers in our conference and or anywhere, like regionally. So that's definitely been a big thing. And like, it really has allowed us to put people where they need to be. So, Carly really for several games stepped up to the plate and played field for us because that's where we needed her. And she has a little more experience having played field in Oklahoma. But, DK and Aaliyah both being willing to step up and help out. And Aaliyah as a freshman goalie, both Carly and DK were out early on the season. And so she just kind of got thrown in there, and she did a phenomenal job. Stepped up to the plate big time, really picked up that leadership role. And I mean, that was something we talked about today, about like looking forward, what we're looking for, and the fact that, she has the ability to be a very, very good goalie, what she needs to work on, where we need to go. And yeah, obviously playtime is tough when you got 3 of them, and especially knowing what the team needs field-wise as well as in the goal. And so that's something that, game by game, we've kind of had to look at, who's been standout at practices, and then looking at warm-ups and how that looks each game. I know we've driven some SIDs insane because we didn't choose our goalie until the end of warm-ups, and they're like, "Coach, you got your lineup?" Yeah, except for one.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's definitely something, and Aaliyah and DK coming back, so two very, very strong goalies to be able to rely on, which looking forward is fantastic.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, postseason begins on Saturday on the road against number 2 seeded Piedmont. A tough draw for you guys.
Yeah.
Lost to them at home earlier this season, but let's preview it a little bit here. Obviously, we know the defense is going to show up. They're going to come to play. Talk a little bit about the offense and what kind of things you learned that first game against Piedmont that maybe you can adjust on and make changes for, because we know you've got some goal scorers, obviously. 4 players in double figures this year. Brindley and Kiara both over 20 goals. So what kind of adjustments on offense?
Yeah, I think the big thing is the confidence level, and knowing they can drive, working with one another. We obviously played Piedmont kind of mid-season for us, right at end of spring break, and so I think we've learned a lot since then. We can definitely work on some of those drives, getting that confidence level, going to goal. The big thing is, Piedmont's quick. So we got to be ready for the speed, but that also means like we've got to be able to move the ball quickly, and let the ball do most of the work for us. And that's something, I actually think we did relatively well in that game originally against them. But like I said, a little more learning to do defensively. I think we learned from that last game, and they've got a lot of quick attackers. Can't give them that inside lane because they will take it and punish us with it if we do. But having, working together and having some of those defenders step up, big talk, communication side of things is going to be huge on that front.
Well, Coach, thank you so much for your time, and we wish you the best of luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Women's lacrosse traveling to Piedmont, 11 a.m. on Tuesday. Wow, Saturday. I don't know what day it is anymore. 11 a.m. on Saturday, the start for that one. Men's and women's lacrosse both getting their tournament started on Saturday. We're going to step aside our alumni spotlight when we come back. Shannon Scales, men's basketball alum, when we come back. Greensboro College Athletics live on the Greensboro College Sports Network. Every college athlete has a story to tell, and at Greensboro College, we believe no one is better equipped to tell those stories than the athletes themselves. On the Getting to Know podcast, you'll hear the who, what, when, where, why, and how of each college athlete's journey to Greensboro and how they became a member of the Pride. We talk on and off the field, influences, hobbies, goals, and what it means to be a member of the Pride. It's all on the Getting to Know podcast on Spotify and YouTube.
You know, I just really felt like I was a person, you know, and they really cared about you, not only as like an athlete, but, you know, as an individual as well. And so that was one of the things that like led me here, honestly.
The Getting to Know podcast from Greensboro College Athletics. We are one Pride, and these are our stories. Say I'm ready, then I wouldn't. And we welcome you back into Greensboro College Athletics Live, joined now by Shannon Scales, former member of the men's basketball team. Here a little bit about Shannon. First team All-Conference in 1998-99, second team the following season. Still in the top 10 for highest single-season three-point percentage for your performance in 1999-2000, and then still in the top 10 in career steals as well in the Greensboro College men's record book. So thank you so much for hanging out with us for a little bit here
thanks
today.
For having me. Yeah, hearing those stats starts to hurt my knees already. Just thinking about it.
Well, Shannon, you know, one of the things about you is, you know, you're not only, you know, a decorated alum, but you're also still involved with the college. Tell us a little bit about what your role is right now.
Yeah, currently I serve on the board of trustees, and I've been doing that I've been on the board for 6 or 7 years. And initially, to be honest, I didn't know much about being a board of trustee and what all that entailed. But I knew I wanted to serve at the college in some capacity. Being a basketball coach definitely was not it, and definitely didn't have that skill set. And so, but I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed just learning behind the scenes what goes on at Greensboro College. And to be honest with you, it's given me even more of appreciation of the people that have gone before us to kind of make the college what it is today.
Now, was this something that when you got out of school, when you graduated, you say, hey, I want to go kind of into this direction? Or
No. When I left college, my wife, I'll give her a shout out because I met her our first day at Greensboro College and snagged her up in orientation. And so shout out for Greensboro College orientation. But,
so you had a great college experience day one.
I did. Yeah, it was great. But and so I left. I ended up finishing. She finished a year after me, and so I left. Got the opportunity to go play basketball. And so I left the country and went to China and bounced around and played a little basketball as long as I could. Yeah. And so, no, I didn't have a thought of maybe going into the board. I ended up getting into the business world. Went back to school to Wake Forest through the banking industry. And a bank that I used to be with is no longer around. I won't mention the name, but the initials are BB&T. And so
not a sponsor of the show either.
Yeah, not a sponsor. Yeah, that's it. So they've ceased to exist. But yeah, I did that for 18 years or so and been in business ownership along that time as well. In the music world, I started music at Greensboro College, actually. Okay. And so I continue to run with that, and I still do some music and play the keyboard and things like that today. And
so what don't you do?
Well,
that's kind of the question. That's where it leads me.
Yeah, I don't know. There are definitely some things. My wife probably has a list of things. But yeah, I try to stay active, and obviously the college is still near and dear to my heart. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, one thing we mentioned just before we came on air, you are still coaching a little bit over at Caldwell. I'll tell you, that basketball program, both the men's and the women's, you guys have built such a great almost dynasty, in a way you could say. The girls team just winning a state championship. Right. And you might be doing a little bit more with that girls team with women's soccer coach here at Greensboro, Mike
right.
Johnston.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your coaching at Caldwell, because like I said, you guys have built for the boys team, a juggernaut. And, Coach Mike Johnston and his staff and Jake Papier, they've built a juggernaut too, winning the state championship. They went to the state championship last year. So just talk about, coaching at Caldwell.
Yeah, it's been neat. So we, the boys team, won the state championship 2 years ago. The girls went and lost, and then we reversed roles this year. We lost in the state championship. The girls came by and won it, and so which is great. But yeah, I cannot take credit for building that program. That was a buddy of mine, Coach Brandon Clifford, who has since moved on to go do some other things and coach in a different area. But But a great friend of mine and a great coach, and I was fortunate enough just to kind of sit on the bench and maybe provide some advice here and there. But, yeah, I enjoyed it. I got into it because my oldest son now plays on the varsity team at Caldwell. And once Clifford just said, hey, maybe if you want to help out a little bit. So I started coaching the JV boys, and I enjoyed that. Coached the middle school boys for a little while. And so this past year, I helped out with the varsity. And so yeah, I'm enjoying that phase. There's been some great athletes that come through there for sure. And I think it's really it's kept me in the game, and I actually enjoyed it more than what I thought. This is really my first time really coaching since I left the game.
Okay.
So 3 years ago was the first time everybody's like, why don't you coach? Why don't you coach? And my buddy Freddie Johnson was like, hey, come over to Greensboro Day and maybe we can coach a little bit, and kind of learned this is years ago. And I just didn't know that all great players don't necessarily make a great coach, you know, and found. And so for a while, I just wanted to be dad. I didn't want to be dad and coach. I just wanted to be dad at home. And so, but now we've shifted in the coaching world, and I'm enjoying it. Mike Johnson is phenomenal. I guess I'm publicizing it now, Coach Mike, but I will be helping out with the girls this year at Caldwell as well.
You don't have to say nice things about it.
If you slip me a 5 or 10, then
that's what we're going to be doing,
okay.
Because we go to lunch with Mike just about every day, and we're going to be trying to get secrets from you,
all right,
so we can dig at him.
All right,
Sound good?
I get. I'll start recording phone calls at
Beautiful.
10:30 at night that we're having. And we've had a couple of 10:30 at night phone calls, a couple of lunches. And,
that doesn't shock
he's
me.
great.
Nope,
Yeah.
doesn't shock me one bit.
Oh, he's great. I enjoy it. We're probably catching up for lunch later this week.
Well,
so
let me
it's
ask
great.
you this.
Yeah.
So, obviously, I know for a lot of alums, sometimes they say, we kind of get out from school and you're into the real world, and you kind of aren't able to keep up with your former sport at your former school. Obviously, you've been here for a little bit in some administration roles, but how much do you keep up with the men's basketball program here?
Yeah, I try to keep up with it quite a bit. There was a phase of when I was really in the banking industry and kind of starting a business that I didn't keep up with hardly anything. So it was probably a 3 to 4 year phase. Probably when McDuffie, the current coach, when he was playing, which I think he was finishing in 2009. So that phase to maybe 13 or 14, I didn't keep up with it as much. But I found myself catching games and getting a chance to be a little bit more involved. I've gotten a chance to come back and speak to the guys a little bit, which was fun.
Yeah.
And McDuffie has not asked me to come play pickup, so I'm glad because the only pickup will be them picking me up probably off the court.
Well,
there.
now that you said it, I mean,
no, don't get any ideas at all. But no, I do like to be involved. I've brought my family to a couple of games. My son loves coming to a game. Yeah. One of the games we did come to, I'll tell you this. Hopefully, this doesn't ruin my character or anything, but a ball came over to the stands, and my son grabbed the ball and threw it back to the ref. And he said, thanks, young man. I appreciate that. Hey, are you going to give everybody a hard time playing basketball like your dad did? And he remembered me.
Wow.
And I think he meant giving a hard time like, great call,
Yeah.
Mr. Ref,
Yeah.
Things like that. I would encourage the referees.
Or you played great defense and frustrated everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right. So, but my son got a kick out of that, Dad. So, but great place, man. When I go in there, instantly memories start to just come back, and memories that I'll cherish, which is great.
Well, I want to add one more question.
Okay.
We talked. You kind of mentioned Coach McDuffie. What's that relationship like? And being an alum, because we're lucky with the men's basketball program. We get to see some alums like Kevin Beard that comes to a lot of games.
Yeah.
Coach Hanger comes to a lot of games.
Mm-hmm.
I think I saw Clarence Caldwell.
Yeah, Clarence was there.
Yeah.
I think one of the last home games, Clarence was there.
Yeah.
So what's that relationship like?
Yeah, with McDuffie. Yeah, it's great just to get a chance to interact with him. I was on the selection committee when we were looking for a new coach, and he was on a list, and I was a fan of several coaches that were on that last list, but that short
I noticed
list,
I didn't get a call.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll talk about it. Maybe you talk to Jerry about that, but yeah. So I was a fan of him and a couple others, and but I just think it's I don't know, guys. I think it's really unique when you have an alum that wants to still be involved at the college. I don't know if you see that a lot. And I think that for him, I've appreciated conversations we've had. Obviously, no situation's perfect. They're working through things just like everybody, every athlete, every sport. But I appreciate the fact that to him it seems like not just a job. Like he's got the heart of Greensboro College and wants to see the college do well, wants to see the team do well. And I think that's no better coach you can have than do that right now. So.
Well, tell me a little bit about kind of what's coming up for you as far as where you see things heading for you in Greensboro College and the vision going forward.
Yeah. I'll continue to stay involved with the board, and I think they kick me off pretty soon. I think there's only a certain amount of time that you can be involved. But even after that, I still see myself, kind of staying connected with the college. I've even talked to McDuffie about my son getting a chance to come in and kind of shoot a little bit and work out sometime in the summer and things like that when the gym's open. And, kind of maybe I can get him to start hanging on the rim that I used to hang on at some point. But yeah, I'll still stay involved, still running business. I still do a little bit of finance type stuff during the day as well. But I don't plan on leaving Greensboro, and this is home. And we still have a swing that used to be out there that me and my now wife, girlfriend, we would go out lots of nights and be on the swing, kind of chat about things. So we'll bring the kids out there sometimes just so they can see, the old swing that mom and dad used to kind of hang out with or whatever.
That's awesome.
And so, yeah, I'll stay connected. I probably will stay in the basketball world with Caldwell. My oldest son is just a freshman, and so we've got a few years there. And we'll see. We'll see where it goes from there. So I'm excited about it.
Well, they say family ties run deep. You truly embody that. We are one pride here.
Right.
Well, Shannon, since you're going to be hanging around, open invitation for next year. Anytime you want to hop on a broadcast with me, I'd love to have you on and talk a little basketball with you.
I'd love to do it. Appreciate that.
Men's basketball alum Shannon Scales here with us. We're going to wrap things up when we come back. Greensboro College Athletics live on the Greensboro College Sports Network.
I grew up on the Outer Banks, Manio, North Carolina. So the path to Greensboro College was a little bit of an unbeaten path. The same thing here. Like, I had never watched a sport. I don't know anything about cars. Taking an opportunity that comes out of nowhere, and it might not be the vision that you had for yourself, but you could make a mark. I think the records were kind of just a byproduct of who I wanted to become as a man.
All right, well, welcome back into Greensboro College Athletics Live. It is unfortunately the time of night where we have to say goodbye, but not before we have a couple things to tell you about. A couple things coming up next. Obviously, baseball and softball still have the end of their regular seasons coming up. Baseball taking on Guilford tomorrow. Not tomorrow. What day is it? This is the third or fourth time.
At this point of the year, we just lose track of what day it is. And they just tell whatever we look at the calendar on the day that we're on, and we just do whatever it says to do.
What did they say? The old quote is, I don't know what day it is, I just know who we're playing.
That's right.
But on Wednesday, baseball is taking on Guilford at the TED. Softball is going to be on the road at Southern Virginia. And then, again, this weekend, men's lacrosse at home, 4 o'clock against Methodist in the first round of the USA South Tournament. Women's lacrosse, 11 o'clock on the road at Piedmont in Demarest, Georgia for the first round of the women's tournament. Baseball will finish their regular season that weekend against Brevard. We'll have all that for you in the Greensboro College Sports Network. Softball finishes their year on the road at William Peace. I think I covered everything. And then any other postseason stuff, we'll obviously get you all caught up on that as well. But and golf, too. The rest of the USA South Tournament, which, again, they come into tomorrow's middle round of the tournament in second place. Stephen, any final thoughts as we wrap up the regular seasons and start postseason play?
Well, it's the busiest time of year. It's a great time of year. Can't forget to also talk about the Rorys that are this Sunday as well.
I meant to do that earlier when
that's all right.
Jerry was on
it's all
the show.
good. We pick each other up. The Rorys are a special event for Greensboro College Athletics. It'll be the second annual Rorys Sunday night, so be sure to tune in right here on the Greensboro College Athletics YouTube channel. It's going to be a great night, a lot of great awards.
We have to be there, right?
We do have to be there. We confirmed today we are supposed to be there.
Okay.
Yep.
And you have to wear a tie.
Yeah, that guy. Do we have to?
You do.
Oh, no. I'm going to be in the back.
Yeah.
No, that's not good.
You have to do it in solidarity with me.
Right. In solidarity. The Rorys are going to be great. Going to be a great night of celebrating everything that's happened in Greensboro College Athletics. But like you said, Kendrick, we have got some huge games coming up. We talked about lacrosse this Saturday, 11 o'clock a.m. for women's lacrosse, men's lacrosse on Pride Field at 4 o'clock for the USA South Tournament. Huge games for them. Huge regular season games the final week for baseball and softball. Baseball, really exciting, trying to lock up the number 1 seed in the USA South Tournament. So it's going to be a heck of a next couple of weeks, hopefully longer, if we can win a conference tournament or two. And it's just going to be an exciting time. So it's exciting for the coaches, the student athletes. For us, we get to, we get to be there at these games and celebrate. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So be sure to stay tuned right here on the YouTube channel, but also make sure to tune into our Instagram page, our Twitter page, and our X page, because it's going to be a lot of content coming in a short period of time. So these next couple of weeks are going to be great. A lot of content going to come up from the tournaments. So just stay tuned. And it's going to be a fun ride here in the next couple weeks.
Yeah, just because the end of the year doesn't mean it's the end of the fun. Things are going to be ramping up here very, very quickly in the next little bit. But that'll wrap everything up here for us today. A big thank you, as always, to all of our guests, the Director of Athletics, Jerry Fisk, our Director of Athletic Development, Rob Hebner, was here today, men's lacrosse coach Nate Bates, women's lacrosse coach Mallory Zalowski, our alum spotlight. There we go, yay! Our alum spotlight today was Shannon Scales, and I think that will wrap everything up. Our next broadcast, again, is baseball on Wednesday at the TED. We'll be going live with the Pride pregame show at 3:45. First pitch is at 4 o'clock. For Stephen Whitenhouse, I'm Kendrick Fruits, wishing you a green and white good night. This has been a presentation of Greensboro College Athletics on the Greensboro College Sports Network.